Woo! So excited. So we have people jumping in. Some people let us know on Voxer that they wouldn't be available today. Some people watch on Facebook. But either way, we're here to play full on and bring the heat that we know we're supposed to bring. We're called to be wealth builders, influencers, those that transform the world. This is the anointing that's on us, and we are going to completely give ourselves to it. Ooh, I just feel this anointing on it. How many of you feel it? It's time to actually break through barriers and establish the anointing and the gift and the frame that God has given you. We frame this world with our words. Let me just start with that. How many of you know that you frame this world with your words? Whatever you want out of life comes from the words that you speak. And I know it's a a challenge to be completely perfect with your words, but when you can catch yourself not being perfect, you're better. You're better. So when you're talking things that you know you don't want, I encourage people, and they say, oh man, this is just, it's making my brain bleed. I'm like, do you really want that? That's called a stroke. I don't think you want to actually spin those words for, I don't want you to say that ever again. Let's stop that. Oh man, this is just so heavy on my heart. Do you really want that? That's called a heart attack. Let's not do any of those words, because these words start to build a place, and then it sounds like a superstition, but I want you to know it's the key to actualization and becoming who you want to become it's in your words. We live by two things: pictures and words that we tell ourselves. The pictures we give ourselves and the words that we speak to ourselves are the keys to where we go. So if I'm telling you you're going to become someone that's a millionaire in the next 12 months, well, your first part of your mind going, well, what if I don't? Well, that's not the point. The point is, let's give our mouth the right words to say. So I'm going to be a millionaire in the next 12 months. Let's give our mind the right things to picture, the right things to think on. And then our body, our skill set, everything starts to yearn for it. It creates attention. Attention is good for you. It creates attention, an uncomfortable place, an insecurity. If it creates this friction, and insecurity sometimes is good when we feel like I'm not ready for my next level. Use that energy. Don't let that energy go, oh, let's go backwards. That means that's juice to go forward. I'm not ready for my next level. That's juice to study. That's juice to research. That's juice to make the connections that you don't have. And when you don't have that, it's like I'm not ready. We don't have it. I don't have the infrastructure for it. God never gives you a vision for the infrastructure that you have. He gives you a vision for the infrastructure he wants you to have. So he throws a vision in front of you, and then he goes, let's watch them grow. Let's watch them grow into what that is. And so when you see that, I'm really excited about some things that are taking place in our lives. Woo! We're about 15 days from closing on Destiny Channel's location, not location, but Destiny Channel's, yes, I guess location. The channel in Victorville, high desert, serving those homes there in the desert right now, currently serving just about 200,000, hopefully serving 1 million in the next year as we begin to raise it up. First thing we're doing is a lot of things. Anyway, by the way, I can't give you my win. I started off my win. I can't take off with my win. We've got to take off with your wins. We got to take off with your wins, where you win and where you're going forward. How many of you feel like there's a new level of energy just flowing on your life? Let's get some big dreams. I'm thinking this is the time for big things. I'm looking at a building in Southern California, looking at buildings, properties here. Haven't found anything that really makes me juiced up here in Seattle. I'm looking for something that makes me go, oh, I'm not ready for that. Ooh, that's a lot of faith, because that's where God's going to really go to work. When you can say at the end of the day, it wasn't me, it was God. That's where God wants you to be. It wasn't me. I didn't know how to do it. Of course, as influencers, we know how to say that properly. We don't go like this, it's all Jesus. We don't do that. That's not in the marketplace. We don't do that. We find the right language. We find the right ability to communicate, how we were inspired, or how we were encouraged by someone else, because we are there as those that are bringing people up with us, not those that just have one message. And sometimes you can have one good preaching moment and never have a good discipleship moment. And so you can disciple people into your relationship with God. If you have a chance to disciple people in a relationship with God, which the Bible says, go and make disciples, not go and pray prayers with them. If we have the ability to go and make disciples with people into God, over versus praying a prayer with someone and they not accepting Christ and then them being turned off, or whatever it may be, having a good preaching moment. I see sometimes Christians having really amazing preaching moments at amazing times, and then they're never around again. And you never learn the language. It doesn't mean you have to stop what you're saying. And as you know, as influencers, we don't ever hold back what we have. We just find the right way to say it. We find the right way to say it. It's all about your words. I'm not going to jump into that. I'll talk about that in a moment. Anyway, here we are, influencers. It's a rock and roll morning, June. How many of you have worked on and you are ready to set your June goals? Now, listen, you don't turn these goals into us, but we want you to think every month, if I'm going to crack something open, what am I cracking open this month? What am I going to get busy with and I'm going to achieve this month? I have to hit some goals. So set some goals in your family, your finances, your body. Set some goals. If you need help setting goals, go to Barrier Buster. You can go to the app. You can go to the App Store, Google App Store, any of the app stores. Look for Barrier Buster. Download the app. It's a high busting app. It's huge. It's a massive app. I realized when I made it, because I was living with the tools and the things for 20 plus years, working and seeing people go from making $100,000 a year to $1 million a year, working with people that wanted to accomplish something. I use these same tools. I put it all in an app really for me. And then I gave it to the public, and the public goes, this is so much. It's so much. So when you go in, do two things. First thing is you go in and set your objectives. So first assess yourself where you are, and then set your objectives. That will help you set your goals. When you set your goals, then just work on those. Look at those every day and start with that. And then you'll have a series of videos in the back that can help you understand the rest of it. But don't hesitate. Go and identify where you are and where you want to be this month. You have goals. Set those goals out. You know what they are. I challenged you last month to post them in the influencers group if you want to really get some energy of accountability. One of the things that we don't have in this group as much as we, what we do have is just as powerful, but one-on-one coaching is about accountability, not as much as, and it is about instruction, but it's about accountability. We get accountable in Facebook, we get accountable in Voxer. When we are committing to something, that's our accountability. Group committing openly, committing in front of people is accountability. We talked about that in Tracey's group. Speaking of, Tracey had a rock solid group on Thursday. She is a builder of people. Wow, I love it. She's building people. She's building people. When you build people, you build the best assets in the world. There's nothing better. You can have everything in the world, but when you build people, that's a life-changing thing. Good job, Tracey. It was quite a fun time to be with your crew. You can tell that they love being with you. They honor you, and we honor you for stepping out and getting it done, making it happen. Facebook group for creatives. Powerful, so powerful, mighty, so good. All right, here we go. Who wants to open us up in prayer? Prayer. John, would you, from the UK, open us up in prayer? Would you mind doing that? Give us a good prayer time. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Father, we just thank you for this time together today. We can engage with you. We can learn from one another. We just ask that you will open our hearts and minds to hear from you and to receive from one another. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's good to have you on the call in the evening in the UK. You guys are just so powerful to get that done. All right, so we're going to start off with some wins. I'm going to share a marketing minute in a moment, but let's start off with wins. Wins. Who has something that's going right and you want to tell about it? Go ahead, David.
All right, so if you knew or don't know, my goal in Pathfinders was to create a book that blended writing and photography. And throughout the semester, it shifted dramatically because I was like, I'm not focusing in on my landscape stuff right now. I'm focusing on like weddings and couples and this and that. So the whole thing shifted, and I've got it. So I went back to Daniel and Caitlin Wilgenbush and was like, help me out with this project, so I'm gonna kind of just flip through a couple pages super quick to give you an idea. Like there's vows, and
Wow.
then some wedding pictures, and then we'll skip
I like it.
forward, and we've got anniversary pictures, and then some questions that I asked each of them that are like edification and prophesying over each other. That I was like, don't share the answers. They'll come out in the book, and they haven't seen it yet. But when I shared it with my Pathfinders cohort, John Sorensen was like, this is absolute conversion for you. Like this is convergence, like perfectly of your education, of your strengths, and of your skills in photography. And I'm like, I didn't put that word to it before, but there it is. And so I'm hoping to get it to them this week. I'm kind of freaking out because I know they're gonna love it, but I'm like, I want to get it to them. So
that's awesome.
That's a big win for me.
That's a huge win for you, David. We are like celebrating you like this. That's just awesome. You have rocked it. And it is streamlined. It is your convergence. It is that place where everything that you are comes together and it manifests what people need. That's awesome. You did a great job. I love it. And you are it's clean and it's simple. It's exactly what needs to happen when people are engaging. Great job. And knowing them, they're going to love it because they are rock stars. They are absolutely ready for that. That's cool.
Thank you.
And so what's you'll have to write in your Facebook your next goal for that. For maybe you have a June goal. And so just let us know so we can start praying with you on your goals.
It's honestly just to start racking up clients in the wedding arena.
Okay, put a number of Facebook that you want to get started with in June, and then we'll just start believing with you. And then maybe if we find someone that's having some weddings going on, maybe there's some relationship connections, networks that will happen.
Right.
Awesome. Use that Facebook, guys. Use that. Sorry, go ahead.
Have camera will travel. It doesn't have to be in SoCal.
That's awesome. Well, and use that Facebook as much as you can. Use it and in the Voxer communicate with us because we're here to help each other go to our next levels and to build. So if you're doing something, you're working on something, you're working through something, go ahead and put your information there and we will help as much as we can. And we may not know, but we know people. Everyone, I mean, you imagine all the people that we know from this group and the people that watch on Facebook. There's a lot of people that can come on that we can bring into your world and your sphere to help. So David, good job. Excellent. Terrence and Angie, come on.
Hey, yeah, so this one's me. I've been dabbling a little bit in call options and learning the stock market and kind of doing some education around that. And the last couple of weeks have been pretty awesome. I think I pulled down like 30 G's in a matter of like 2 weeks, just kind of dabbling. That's it's like completely separate from like some of my just regular stock holding portfolio, just kind of dabbling. So I pulled that down and also got some more seed in the ground for some what I'm expecting to be some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we're
fun. I love that. I love it. You guys are forever learning. Always dabbling and learning and doing something. I love how you say dabbling. That's awesome. That's awesome. And 30 G's will make anybody's life a little bit happier and easier, right? Everybody can handle a little bit more of that. So good job. That's awesome. And you may have to share a couple little secrets on this way.
Yeah. I tried to set my own little coaching camp.
Little coaching camp. Little boot camp. Look at John's like boot camp. Everybody's ready for the boot camp. So yeah, get your stuff together, get some slides together. We'll do a little boot camp. Awesome. Everybody's in. Because a little dabbling. If you can get 30 G's with dabbling, that's awesome. That's some good news. Excellent. Good job. Good job, Terrence. Sierra, where are you at, girl?
Here I am. Okay, so I have 2 wins. They're smaller, but the first one is I had set a goal for May to reach my lost weight of 30 pounds down, and I lost 24. So
Come on, that's awesome.
that was really exciting. I've been working with a coach, and he's been helping me, give me some tips and ideas on what to do even at home. And then for on the business side of things, I actually just got a new job that is significant increase compared to what I was making. And it's in my field of passion. So I'm really excited for that. I'll be a lead teacher with early education. And so I'm really, really excited about it. And it's closer to my house. So I don't have to travel as far. So yeah, my job, my current job decided that they were going to relocate to Spokane. So I had to, it's like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And this job like fell into my lap. And so I'm really, really excited about it. So yeah, more income, more increase all around.
That's awesome. Yeah. More income, more increase, less of other things. Good job. It's awesome. Good job for you. We're moving everything in the right direction. That's excellent. And you are a teacher. You love those kids. Good job. Excellent. We celebrate you. All right, Lisette, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to let you know that we have 3 children. They're 26, 30, and 31. I've always prophesied that they would have their own business. And there's one that would have multiple. And our daughter just started her own online business, Pastor. And she did it with, through this group, basically. She's not in this group, but she's part of the family outside of the group. And so when we're having a conversation, she's been listening, and she even knows more about funnels than I do. And she started her own funnel. And I was like, where is this coming from? And she said she's been listening to what we've been telling her, that she will have her own business and she would be her own boss, and she would actually do it for many reasons. But I just wanted to let you know that just happened 2 days ago.
Family legacy is a beautiful thing. That's excellent. Bringing them all up in the wealth creation world. And what's really going to be blessing is she can build your funnel. Woo! Have her build you a funnel. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Lisette, for sharing that. That is such just absolutely fun things going on. Anyone else? Just before we move in, I'm going to share just a couple of thoughts for marketing, and then I'm going to call on, actually, let me do this. Hopefully our alumni saw that I was going to call on you for a minute of power minute. So let's start with Neela. Power minute. Neela, what do you have? Give me 1 minute of power.
Okay.
What's working? What's not working? What are you thinking? What do you want to share?
Yeah, well, this is what I want to share. I want to just spark a renewal of the art of customer service, where where we are paying attention to how we are serving the people that, if we're in a corporate setting, the people that have hired us, the departments that are impacted by us, or even most specifically, the end user of our service or product. And I think with the time that I have, just 2 thoughts. Number one, that we would see ourselves as a source of information and see ourselves as problem solvers, so that when our customers need something, we're excited to meet that need. Information, encouragement, whatever it is that they need. And then number 2, that we would treat all of our customers the way we would a VIP. I think one of the things is to look at how would you treat your most important customer, and then really try to incorporate that mindset and that approach to each customer or client that you have.
Excellent. Great job. Love it. I started my timer late, but I know it was less than a minute. Good job on that. Bam. Neela always can be counted on. Excellent. Daphne, are you available to come to are you there as an alumni, or she may be available. She may not be available. Maybe we'll come back. David Shirley, let me know. Do you have a minute of power for us? What's working? We already heard your testimony, but what is your one thought, one thing that you learned through the process that you can share?
At this point, I would just say trust the process. As Sierra shared with her fitness journey, like I hired a coach 10 weeks ago, and it's kicked my butt in every way, but I've loved every second of it too. And not a day goes by that I don't wake up feeling fatigued and sore, but there's a trust in the process because I know the goal. So whether it's business or personal or whatever, just trust the process and lean into it as much as possible.
I like it. I like it. Excellent. Trust that process. If you hire a professional, trust that professional that they've been working at this and they've been working with people, and go with the process. Some people, most people, I think the percentage of people who finish courses are 5%. 5%. They'll finish 5%. Most people finish up to 5% of courses. Very few, like 5%, finish the whole course. So course development, walking people through courses, going through training, walking through, this is different because we meet every week. There's a challenge, but if you notice, there's a lot of people that just started to do the replay, or they started to check on Facebook or whatever it may be. And the realization is we do get busy, but this accountability is what keeps us locked in. This accountability, seeing each other's faces, and the people that are winning, that are coaches, that are in here, they are constantly in here working, learning. Plus the education is good for them. So we all learn, we all grow, we all go forward. All right, excellent. Adrian, you'll be the last one, I think, today. I think Stephanie looks like she's busy as well. Adrian, go ahead. Let's hear what you have.
So I will talk about collecting customer feedback. So one of the things is when you guys create a product or a service, you want to know what your customers actually think about it. You don't just want to have this great idea that they love it and it's going to be amazing, but you want to see how they're actually using it, because you might think they're going to do A, B, and C, and they're really doing D, F, Z, and they're confused and they don't know what's going on. So one of the things you can do with your customers is set up customer interviews, and you can do grab 20, 30 minutes of their time, maybe treat them to coffee or whatever, and then watch how they actually use your product or your service. Or if it's a service, you can get real feedback and ask probing questions. And one of the things you don't want to do is lead their responses. So a leading question would be like, when you did X, Y, and Z, did you feel good about it? Yeah. Rather ask them, how was your experience with X, and did you have any difficulties? So that will set them on the path of thinking of what were the issues and scope it down to X, Y, or Z. And so then it gives them freedom to respond, rather than having them think, oh, did I do something good? Was it good? And then wanting to give you a good answer to make you feel better. So you want to let them ask things that will actually reveal stuff that you can improve on, so you can make your product or service better for your next customers.
Excellent. Yeah. Outstanding. Great job, all of you. Now, Tony's just jumping on, but he doesn't even know what I'm asking, but I'm going to put him on the spot. Tony, are you available for a mic? Maybe your video as well. If not, then we'll come back to you another time. 5, 4, 3, 2, moving on. All right, Tony, there. Tony, give me a minute of alumni power. What are you working on? What would you tell these people? I know you're just jumping in. Look at you, just kidding.
I would say, yeah. So alumni power, I would say systemize everything that you're doing. And what you want to do is you want to start building out an ability to no longer have to work. So you're spending only your time on high income producing activities. And the best tip that was ever given to me by one of my guys that was in sales, he said, listen, you have to get yourself an assistant. You'll make double the commissions and you work half as less. And I was resistant to him until I did it. And then I got an assistant and we systemized every process so I can focus on only the high income producing activities. And by doing that, I was able to just blow it through the roof. It's those little things. Don't be afraid to invest into your business. I'm hiring out more VAs than I've ever done before. I'm just hiring them on because I'm oh, this person helps me make even more money. But you just can't hire people on just to hire. You have to systemize. So right now I'm going back to the basics of the 4-hour work week. And I'm going, how can I make this my obsession? Because I have other stuff I need to do. But at the same time, I would say systemize. Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for. Bam.
All right. There you go.
I love these alumni. I love these guys are ready to play the moment they're always ready to go. If you can see the wealth that is just sitting amongst you, there we have Terrence and Angie too. We're going to open up the mic for them as well. Let's go. Who's going to go? Let's go Angie first. Angie, good to see you. Powerhouse.
Hey, so my minute is don't take it personal. Numbers are numbers. And when your business isn't going the way that you want it to go, or you're hitting a lid, you have to remember that you can't attach your emotions to what's going on in your business. You need to take a step back, reevaluate your systems and your processes, and realize that it's not about you, but it's about your process. So line up your process. If you need help or you need to get coaching on maybe reevaluating what you're doing, but don't take it personal when you hit a lid.
Awesome. Awesome. Nice 1 minute. Bam. I love you. All of you guys are coming right under that minute. And this is the power of communication. Let's go, Terrence. I got your time going. Let me reset you so you don't get the fever of your wife's.
Like you were like 6 minutes. What's wrong? No. No, my 1 minute would be don't play to lose, play to win. When you come into the game, you know, especially with stock, you've got to know that the money that you're putting on, you could lose it all. And you can't be afraid. You got to be able to play full on, ready to go, and do the best with the knowledge, wisdom that you've gained in that moment. Do your research and make the best decision you can make in the moment. Whether you win or lose, you're always winning because you're learning. That's excellent. Absolutely good. Excellent. Wonderful. You guys are like 38 seconds or something like that. 38, under a minute. You guys are wonderful communication gurus. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue the role with you guys and myself, but is there anyone you're hitting a wall, you have a question, you want a coaching opportunity, throw it out in the group and we can speak to it. All right. Melinda.
I can't even figure out how to raise my hand this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Melinda.
So I started this group, obviously, because I want to become an entrepreneur. I have an MLM, a travel business that I really haven't done a lot with for a few reasons. Partly because I've just been undergoing this huge personal transformation inside and out. And I don't know if I've told you guys that we're selling our house.
No.
Okay. So we live in Tacoma and all of our kids and grandkids have moved away and we don't have a need for this big house anymore. So we found a buyer and we're selling it. And so right before that happened, I got laid off and I thought, great, I'm laid off. Like I get to work my business. I'm going to put all this time into it. And like 2 weeks later, we found out we made the decision that we're going to sell the house. And so this last few weeks has kind of been this personal buyer. We're going outside of realtors. Sorry if there's any realtors here. We're going outside of the realtors, and it's a blessing for him and it's a blessing for us. We're getting more than what our asking price would have been. We're going to be debt free, and we're going to cut down on the commute. So there's all these amazing things that are going to happen. But right now I have no time to focus on my business because I'm packing and cleaning and trying to get the yard situated and all of that. And so I know that God has put me in this place, like he's preparing me. And through all of this, I'm working out and reaching my physical goals and all of that. So I don't even know what my question is. I just feel like I guess I just need confirmation that the path that I'm on is just that, I think David said, enjoy the process or embrace the process, that he's making a way, an area for me. When we move to Seattle, I'll be in an apartment. I won't have a yard. I won't have a huge house. I'm not working. I'll have all of this time to put into my business. And so for right now, I'm going to download the Barrier Busters and hopefully get back on my books. I haven't done anything on my books, the affirmations or anything like that in the last month or two. So does that sound right? Does anybody have any advice, or have you been where I am?
Yes, let's, Tony had his hand up first.
I'll let you go first. You go. You want to go first?
No, you go
I'm
ahead.
gonna get practical. You're gonna get coach like.
You go and do practical, and then I'll hit it with the.
Okay, so if you guys, because I know that some of you guys are network marketing and all that. I have a massive background in that. I'm going to tell you the one thing that I would do is I would go onto YouTube and look at Holton Bugs with Eric Worre talking about launching. And the number one thing is learn to be simple and rely on the tools. Do not try to be the expert. Network marketing breaks down when people try to be the expert because you're not the expert. The tools are the experts. Right. So I did this, for example, in a company, because I used to be an executive in network marketing, but I was in a distributor for a company. And in the first month, we got to $40,000 in volume. By my second month, I had 650 people in my team, and we were pushing about $96,000 in sales volume by second month. And the way we did that is we just simplified it. We did launches. We didn't do anything else. We did launches. We had a strict schedule of when we were going to launch. We duplicated. We say, hey, listen, we're going to be putting everyone together. We're going to be launching something. Check this out. Get everyone that you can on this call. And we did everything online. We did everything online. We had people watch a simple video that was a few minutes, and then we threw them into the video, into this, where we just kind of talked about the vision of where we were going, gave a high level. Hey, if you guys want to know more about this, go watch this video. We were never the experts. Number one, we couldn't be the experts because we were pioneering a technology that no one even knew what was even existent. We had no idea what we were pushing out there, but we just were there to say, hey, we see an opportunity, and that's it. So I think the number one thing is do that. Number two is, in this time, you want to learn how to become a problem finder, not a product pusher. Problem finder, product pusher. There's a book that's amazing that I recommend any person that's doing any sales read. And I've used this book for everything. It's by Mike Oliver. It's called How to Sell Network Marketing Without Losing Your Friends, Family, whatever. I can't remember the title. I'll get you guys a link. But I've used this framework to sell everything and anything in my life, not just network marketing. I've used this framework. It was taught to me. And there's a little tweaks that you need to make to the framework, but it's literally one of the best books on sales I've ever read.
You put that in the Facebook group?
Yes, I will. Mike Oliver. There's a couple books, but that's the number one thing. And the number thing is just keep things really simple, right? Like when you reach out to someone, there's a specific thing. It's like, hey, if I shared a video with you for a quick second, would you take like 3 minutes to watch it? I don't know if this is going to be something that you might be interested, but would you take a few minutes to maybe check this out? And they go, yeah. And you go, great. When do you think you're going to have a watch? Okay, cool. And then the next thing you do is you just ask this question. What were your thoughts? Do not ask, what did you like most about it? Ask, what were your thoughts? That's a rookie amateur sales mistake. What did you like most? Never uncovers objections. You lose a sale by not uncovering concerns and objections.
Very good. Excellent.
So you have to uncover all of so when you say, what are your thoughts? Then you get it out there. And then one of my favorite things to say is like, well, I know this is a cheesy question, but I should probably ask you this. Let's say like on a scale of, I don't know, like 1 to 10, like 1 not for you, 10 it might be what you're looking for. Where would you see yourself at? And if they go 1 or 3, you go, that's kind of low. Why so low? If they say 5, you go, that's a bit in the middle. Why in the middle? If they say 7, you go, it's kind of high, kind of in the middle. Why in the middle? If they say like 8, 9, or 10, you go, they say 10, you go, holy crap, that is really high. Hold on here. Why so high? What you're doing is you're reinforcing and uncovering any kind of concern. And then from there, you can have a conversation that's even better. That's like the super simple tips I can give you guys. Keep it really simple. And all you're there to do is just find out do they have a challenge or problem? What is it? And there's ways I can teach you guys how to do that, but I don't want to take all the time.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
So Melinda, the coaching side of this, is remember in the last few months, I think the last 60, 90 days, we've been talking about how to be an entrepreneur. The first is the person, the second is the practice, and the third is the launch, which is the systems. So Tony gave you systems. He gave you the ideas of what to do, how to gather people, how to work at a very smart and simple way. You said, well, I haven't been working on my business, but I've been working on myself. You have to understand that when you work on yourself, you're working on your business. You can't be an entrepreneur if you never work on yourself. Part of the problem with people when they don't work on themselves and they start a business, they start working in the business. You can work in the business, you can work on the business, or you can work on yourself and yourself lead people who work in the business. I like working on myself that activates people who work in the business as I'm working on the business, as I'm building the business. I build the business with people, you build the business with people. So don't look back in the last 60, 90 days and you say, well, I haven't been working on my business at all, because you're really missing the point. The first stage of business is about you and you growing. You grow when you decide to help people. You grow when you decide to be someone who is going to help someone find their best vacation, or however the travel business works. You grow when you're looking at helping someone else. In the moment you choose to help someone else, you choose to grow. So it's important that you know, if I'm working on my business, sometimes I'm not actually doing a lot in a certain direction in the things that I do, but I know that every day I'm working on myself so that I'm better in that place when I'm ready to go to the next stage, which is I'm ready to practice it. I'm ready to put this in practice. I'm ready to now bring the things that Tony's talking about to because I'm now in a place where I feel like I have something to offer. I have something to add. I'm not going in as the expert. I love that. But I'm going to let the product be the expert. I'm going to let everything else be the expert. But I have to feel like I'm a good representation of a product. There's a lot of people in network marketing who have a great product, but they themselves feel like they don't represent the product well. And so they shut up. They're quiet. They're insecure. They have a wonderful product. They love the product. And what's really good is testimonials. When you are having a testimony yourself with the product. I don't know how travel testimonies work with. What do you say?
It's been tough this last year.
Because network marketing works well with things that you have testimonies for. It's testimonial. It's a testimonial based business. It's a business where someone else's win now I can see myself living in it. It's a lifestyle. So the testimonies you have to think lifestyle. Marketing is about lifestyle, not about what you're doing. It's about what lifestyle you can promise someone, what lifestyle you can help them get into. So if you have a travel business, I mean, there's people that are going to be unlocking right now in this next season. They're coming out of the house. This is the best time to start your business. And I'm going to deal with this time management thing in a second, but this is the best time. And I think part of the reason is whenever something else, when we say I don't have time for something, that means other things are priorities. So you don't have it on the high enough level of a priority for it to be urgent to where you have to find time for it. Because if you're really seriously urgent about starting this business, if you knew that COVID is giving you a post season to launch your business in the next 6 to 12 months, COVID is going to give you the best season you've ever had. And that's people getting vaccinated, people coming out of the woodworks. Grandma can now travel. I was talking to a manager of a hotel this week. They said we are getting phone calls left and right, and they're last minute. Everything's working on a last minute. People saying, "Oh, can you open up your venue in 2 weeks, in 30 days? We have a wedding we want to put on." And they're saying, because I have relatives that can now fly in, because the states are opening up, things are opening up. Our state, even one of the worst restrictions in the nation, is opening up. So they say June 30th. Well, everybody's planning for that. If everyone's planning for that, don't you think that we should? If I have a travel business. Come on, Stephanie. If I know I'm still in people's businesses right now. I'm going to become a redhead eyelash producing because I see opportunities. I see opportunities, and I'm telling you, I know how to work it. So I want you to get this, that if you are selling your house, this is not you. If you're selling your house, you're pregnant and you have like 45 kids, come in at, you know, in your room, and you, no matter all this, if you are so super busy, if you realize that if I can work for the next 6 months and launch my business in the travel, how would I find time? Now, we told ourselves we don't have time, but if you put the urgency on it, you put the priority on it, then what are you going to do? And you say, I have to find time. Well, you'll find time. You'll find time. That extra 5 minutes in you know, that extra whatever it is, you'll find time. And people say, well, how do you have time to do what you do? Is because I make it all a priority. Anything that's not a priority is not on my list right now. I live at a high level of priority. And in that, I have a high level of relaxation. Monday is my priority of relaxing. So I don't just go run. I have a day where I'm like, okay, cool, chilling. We're chilling today. We're doing nothing. We're answering no Voxers, no phone calls. So yes, high level priority, and then have a set relaxation as your priority. Priority is moving. We know that. That's an urgency that you're not in control of. But maybe there's someone you can that can come along and help you, that will help you speed it up. So you'll look at your resources around you. Who do I have? What do I have? Who do I know? What do I know? What extra dollars? Maybe Terrence can give a couple extra points on how to get $30,000 in a couple of weeks, so you can hire some people to help you move, right? So there's always resources. And you know what, one of the things, the reason I want you to gain wealth, the reason I want all of you to be wealthy, is because the wealthier you are, the more resources you have available. But do you know the less money you have, the resourceful you are? And so if you don't have something, it activates resourcefulness, where resources activate an action just because you can buy a resource. So we want both. We want to be resourceful, and we want to have resources. So in that, time management, I'm going to do at some point I'm finding out time management, people are all using time as an excuse of why they don't do what they do. When time management is really about people management, managing you and managing others. So if you realize in Barry Buster, you'll see the first, when you break it down, you go all the way to the right, it talks about time management. The whole thing is about how you manage you and you manage others. And so manage you and others. And so if you can't manage yourself, then you'll find yourself out of time. People say, how do I manage time? You don't, you manage yourself in the midst of 24 hours. The time ticks the same for everybody else. It's amazing how much a Donald Trump or somebody else can get done in a day, where others are just sitting and going, I have to move. Well, I believe that guy's moved a lot. I believe other people are moving a lot. So we have, my job is to help you not have excuses. So this is the excuse killer. First of all, you have been working on your business for the last 60 days by building yourself, making yourself work. Now you're saying, how can I get the practice working? Nuts and bolts, simplify, think simple. If you have a pathway of launching, your business, then it's easier. Do you have a pathway? Do you have like a pipeline for yourself of launching? A launch sequence?
Not so much for the MLM, but for the affiliate marketing, which is a little bit more of a priority for me.
Which one is low hanging fruit right now? Which one can you get on right now and you'll start making money?
The affiliate marketing.
Okay, so and you have a path, you have a pipeline, you have a pathway of prospering in that.
I am in a training program for it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to wait until the training program is over to get busy?
Not necessarily. You can do it simultaneously.
So are you doing the training program every day now, or how's that working for you?
Not lately.
Okay, so that's the thing that you're saying that you need help to get started with.
Yeah. And because I feel like through the affiliate marketing, I can also do the MLM thing as well. Like that, that's part of it.
Sure. We'll put the MLM on over there for a second, just for a second. If you think the low hanging fruit to help you, and if the MLM is easier to get launched, but I like what Tony's strategy is to set it all up. And I would start working on both of them right now. One is I'm going to start doing the courses for the affiliate market. If it's a course driven, it's driven by me. So I'm going to listen to a video either early in the morning, or I'm going to watch a video either late at night. I'm going to watch a video right before I go to bed. I do a lot of stuff early in the morning, late at night when I'm trying to fit it in my schedule. I know in the middle of the day it's not going to work unless I'm taking a break. So take advantage of those bookends of your day. Those are times that you are in control of. No one else is in control of those times. No one's knocking on your door. If everybody gets to work at 8, unless you work on the East Coast, or unless you work with people on the East Coast, you have between, everybody's knocking on your door at 9. You have between 8 and 9 to do something. You can wake up extra 5 minutes to brush your teeth, watch a video, right? Watch a video. I stack a lot of my training in my workouts. So when I'm working out, I'm stacking my education. I just went through a whole marketing course last week while we were in Arizona, Tony. I went through a whole marketing course with what's his name? Gene.
I know what you're talking about. Billie Jean.
Billie Jean. Yeah. So I went through a whole Billie Jean marketing course with Billie Jean. And after we hang out at the pool, I run over there at 12:30 at night, in the morning, and I get Billie Jean in my head. And, that's a whole nother Billie Jean is not my love. That's a whole different one. But anyway, so I'm over there and I'm learning while I'm sweating. And so to me, that's the good time to put my trainings. I put my trainings when I'm sweating, when I'm working out. I never just train. I'm always educating while I'm training. Every single thing I do, educating while I'm training, because it's called stacking. That's in my book for followership. Stack things that you like to do, things that are hard to do, things, stack those things. Bring those things that you love to do with things that are challenging, things that you love to do with things that you can't find time to do. Time management with stacking. The second thing I would do is so in the MLM, I would start planning out a pipeline of how am I going to launch this. Planning is just as much working on your business as working in it. Planning your business, planning. So sometimes people say, well, I can't write. I'm like, yes, you can. All you have to do is research. Research is writing. Just come on, Sierra, get busy with that research, girl. Right? So it's important. So you do these are little steps that Tony's talking about, simple steps, just doing. So if you have 2 things in mind, okay, I may not be actually talking to customers right now, but I'm educating myself in the affiliate marketing, and I'm doing that while I'm working out, when I wake up, at whatever given time. If there's a slight moment that I think I have 15 minutes, I'm actually turning on someone teaching me something. If I'm driving from here to Safeway to pick up stuff, I have headphones on and I'm driving, listening to someone teach me something. When I'm walking around Safeway looking for bread and peanut butter or whatever, I have someone coaching me. I'm not listening to music. I'm not doing it. Someone is always coaching me when I'm not coaching someone else. So I'm constantly engaging myself. I don't have that. And then when I have downtimes, I'm watching TV. I'm watching dry bar comedy. I'm doing something. I mean, we're rolling last time. I'm falling over at 2:00 in the morning, watching dry bar comedy because I needed to have that release from all the stuff, right? So I was doing. So you have to take care of yourself. That's called managing yourself. If you manage yourself, you have time management. And then just see what things that you can delegate to someone else. If it doesn't demand that you do it, don't do it. If you have to be the only one to put away mom's china in the box because it's valuable, that's fine. But those other ones that you got from Pick and Save, you can have someone else come and box up those and let those get boxed up by somebody else. That's how delegation works. There's only things that I can do, and there's things that someone else can do. And I'm going to find someone else to do it. I'm not going to do it. I look at things all the time and I'm like, can I do this? Or am I the only person that can do this? If I'm not the only person that can do it, I don't touch it. If someone else can do it, I try to find someone else who's willing, who is able, who desires to come along and help. People want to help. People are helpful. And so be resourceful. Hopefully I didn't get preachy on you in that coaching segment, but the nuts and bolts, every day you're going to add to yourself the affiliate teaching. You're going to add to it. You're going to give that, you're going to put that in your ears. You're going to find a dead time, a time where you're doing dishes, or a time when you're vacuuming, or a time when you're right? Those are the times I'm vacuuming, I'm mopping the floor, or I'm picking up something, I'm taking the garbage out. Yesterday I was taking the garbage out, and I have, we get a lot of Amazon boxes. We get tons. I don't know. I don't know if anybody gets as much Amazon shipments, because I look at my garage and I'm like, where do all these boxes come from? All right, give me a little knife. I have to break down these. Guess what I have? I have someone teaching me about tiny funnels. I'm listening to tiny funnels. It sounds like a song, huh? Tiny funnels. And I have someone teaching me about funnels while I'm just breaking down boxes. So there's never an excuse of not training. There's training all the time. Now, when you're training, you're working on yourself, which means you're working on your business, because the business is about an entrepreneur serving people. You can serve people. Then the next thing is nuts and bolts. You're going to do that. You're in the first stage of your nuts and bolts. You're going to find the time to study the affiliate, and you can do it. You'll pay attention. Just pay attention to your dead time. The time that you can be doing two things, that's a dead time to me. If I'm doing one thing when I could be doing two things, that's wasting time. That's wasting time. I know people think I'm crazy, but it's wasting time. People say, how can you get done as much as you do? It's because when you're doing one thing, I'm doing two things. When you're doing one thing, I'm doing two things. You go work out and you do one thing. I said to someone, they said, I want to grow in this area. And I said, do you work out? And they say, yeah, I run. I said, okay, what do you listen to when you run? Well, I listen to jazz or music. I said, turn the jazz and music off. It's not going to help you. Put on some teaching, right? Because bam, build this person. It builds that person builds the business and builds people, period. So nuts and bolts, your nuts and bolts now is just going to be, I'm going to be learning, training. I'm going to be educating myself. And then, so in the morning, I'm listening, or in the night, I'm listening to my affiliate program. And in the morning, every morning I'm writing down one thing I usually have a whiteboard. I write down one thing on my whiteboard that is a part of the pipeline that I want to work. What's the stage one? What's the first thing I want to do? Tony said it great. Video, find the video that you're going to show people. Identify that video. Then tomorrow, write down all the names that you can think of from people, or, and then, in the meantime, or maybe the next thing will be get that book and read that book. And maybe you're reading a couple of paragraphs or page on that book, right? Those are little things, but the whole time you're still working it. It's not making money, but you'll make money faster, because there is something definitely about sharpening the axe before you swing it. So right. Sharpen the axe before you swing it, and then you'll be powerful, and you will actually cut through the circumstances, the tree, all of it faster than you would if you didn't take the preparation time. So what you're doing, you're in the personal practice time, and the next you're going to be in the system and actually making the launch happen. This is, if you go back to any of the previous teachings up until I think the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, we were talking about the three levels of the system. We got into the execution of this. The system is about how you launch and what you launch and when you launch. Okay, so you'll be in the launching modes, but you have to do the first two before you launch. And that's why we spent the last 90 days, teaching you the three levels of entrepreneurship, because most people think that the business is this, the launching. That is the business, but the fact is you are the one that's going to run it. There's a lot of people that have perfect launches, but they can't run a business. So the business folds on them, because they themselves are not good at running themselves. They don't know how to run themselves. So run yourself. I'm sorry, I got a little bit excited about this. Because this is the thing. This is the entrepreneurial lie. This is the thing that most people tell themselves that holds themselves from actually manifesting what they're called to manifest. So does that answer your question?
It does, and thank you very much, both of you, because it just helps to confirm that I feel like I've kind of been working on the infrastructure of my foundation, and then you build, so.
Excellent. Great. God gives you a vision, and then he makes you build the infrastructure. That was the first thing that was opened up with today. Excellent. Good job, Melinda. We're glad to see you launch. Congratulations on your sale of your house.
Thank
you.
And
this next season, it's going to be fun.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's just jump right in. What do you guys think about jumping in? That was a good question. It was a good question. that really is all this week I've been thinking, I have a feeling that people are, there's so many opportunities coming that people don't know how to manage their time. And time management is something that when I coach people, what I do is I help them manage their time. And in that, managing time is all about managing yourself. And that's how I get people who want to have a 12-month goal, and I get them to work and get that goal in 4 to 6 months, is because we work on managing self. Today, what was that? We're talking about our elevator pitch. Elevator pitch. How many of you want to be able to share what you do in a powerful 1-minute communication? You run into someone on the street, you run into someone around, you want to be able to share with them. Are you guys engaged? I saw people raise their hand. How many you think that's valuable? It's extremely valuable. So let's last week we talked about Habakkuk. We looked at that scripture. We talked about writing the vision, making it plain, and all the things, the components to that we missed because we just think about writing the vision. Go back and listen to that if you can, last week's. I think it's worth a repeat. But it says here in Habakkuk 2:2-3, it says, the Lord answered me and said, record the vision and inscribe it on tablets, that the one who reads it may run. Now remember, what you're going to say in your 1-minute elevator pitch is about the person who's listening, not about what you are doing. It's about the one who reads it. Whenever you write something, the reason I've a few years ago I started to learn, I do a lot of copy study, because I realized, even though I write books, you write books with an idea that I'm writing to someone. I'm writing with someone. When you write a book, you think about who you're writing to. Last week I sat with a lady in our church. We have a little restaurant that we go into after service, and I sat with her, Kathleen, and Kathleen has written 3 children's books. I have a children's book that I've been wanting to write for years. I mean, 10 years. And I go to write it and it turns into an adult book. I'm like, I have 12 adult books. I'm writing another one. The books are easy for me because I can think about you. I know who I'm writing to. I have an idea of who I'm writing to. And I said, Kathleen, how do you write children's books? And we're just sitting there. I'm like, how do you write children's books? You knock these books out. She goes, I said, I'm having a hard time writing books. I just get so complicated in my, it's not see Spot run. It's Spot went down the road and had a great coffee and stood over here next to this person. And then she goes, you have to get down at their level. I'm like, what? You mean get down to their level? I'm talking to them. You see my hand motion? I'm talking to them, right? I'm talking down at them. See, that's the problem. And she said, that's the issue, is you have to actually get down with them. You have to actually get down, not just in your mind looking at them, but you're going to have to get down to their level, at the floor level, and talk to them. And I'm like, I never do that. It's like, hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. And all the kids go, they have this thing where they, I don't know. The young people think I'm like their best friends because they're almost all my height. So that's fine. But the kids, some of them are scared of me, not all of them, but some of them are scared of me. And so the realization is I have to get down. I realize I have to position myself to where they are and write to one of them. Well, and that's the same with anything, copy. So when we're writing the vision, you're getting to where the person is that you're communicating to. Now, if you're communicating at this level, at that level height, I'm going to just use height as at that level height, and you talk to someone who's at this level or at this level and they don't get it, it's fine. You don't have to adjust yourself for the wrong person. You when you share the vision, you're fishing for the right person. You're sharing it, looking for the right individual. So he says, write the vision, and because the right person who reads it, they're going to want to run with it. That's what you're looking for, the people who want to run with it, the people who are excited to run with your vision, not the people who are going, I don't know, I don't have any shoes to run with it. No, you want the people that go, I've been waiting for this. I just bought these new shoes to run with it. Number 3, he says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. It hastens towards the goal. It will not fail. We talked about that, the dichotomy of it hastens, but it will not fail last week. but I want you to see it's the vision is yet for an appointed time. If you have something in your heart that God's calling you to do, it is appointed by God for a time. And you keep working on yourself, working on it, working on things, and while you're moving towards that time. And so it will hasten towards you, and it will have this dichotomy that will go back and forth, for it will certainly come, it will not delay. So we talked about the elevator pitch. It's a part of, it's manifesting, it's where your vision is going to be declared in a minute to 2 minutes at max, but a minute. A minute is a good shooting for 30 seconds to a minute, but a minute is easy. 60 seconds, you're looking around 150 to 250 words. Before I get into the framework of it, I want to give you another scripture. Another scripture in 1 Corinthians 9:22. 9:22 says, to the weak I became weak, that I might win the weak. So his vision was to reach the weak, right? You understand? His vision was to reach the weak. I have become all things to all men. Now he's now saying, my ability to reach all people is very much that. I will become that individual that person needs me to be. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that he's changing, but he's relating. Be relatable. Be relatable. Relate with the weak. If you're strong, don't tell how strong you are. This is not about your pitch, but this is just about communication overall. I like to bring people to a level of strength, but they have to know I understand where they are. If they're here, I can't just talk about being strong because they already feel weak. So we have to start with understanding. You may not say I'm there now, but you say, I know what it feels like. I understand what it feels like to be in that position. I know what it's like. Why? And then you bring them up to the weak, that I may win the weak. To all things to all men, that I might save some. Now, those are powerful words, because the goal is not to keep them weak. It's to bring them into a winning position. I want the weak to win. I want all mankind to be saved. What does the word save means? It's the word sozo. I want everyone to be saved. This is the word sozo. Sozo means this: saved, delivered, protected, healed, preserved, do well, to make whole. Do you know what business is about? Business is about finding that weak place, that gap, that place that people are suffering, that place that people are unsafe, and you're going to fill that gap. So what you're doing is you're finding out, what does my customer really want? What does my customer really need? I love Adrian's get the questions down, because find out if they're actually using it, because if they're using it improperly, then it's not solving the thing that you thought it was, and it's not solving what they really thought. So you're making sure that the customer is using it properly, understanding, so that they can actually be made sozo. Do you know that your business is making people sozo? You're making people whole. You're delivering people from challenges. You're delivering people. You're saving them from themselves. You're saving them from others' time management problems. You're healing them. You're preserving them. If you realize that this is it, then you need to think, what is all people? I think about this term that he said, I'm working backwards for a reason. He says, all people. I save all people by understanding as much as I can about all people. Don't just understand one type of person. When you're just in a situation where I only understand this nationality, or I only understand this kind of person, you are cutting off a market. Doesn't mean you have to market to everyone, but if you understand them, if you understand what their works are, you understand what they do. It's like Sabrina, she's not on today. She does curly hair for primarily a African-American nationality. All right, so, but it doesn't mean she doesn't know how to do curly hair for everybody. So she's now a curly hair coach, which it's going to broaden out, because everybody has curly hair, and everybody has unmanageable curly hair at different times and different ways. So, but her coaching is isolated, but she understands every kind of hair. She doesn't just understand curly hair. She understands more types of hair. It's important that you understand. I talk to people that don't understand my kind of hair, or they don't understand. I talk to people who are barbers that didn't understand other. So you want to make sure you understand all people. Even though you're focusing on one person, you focus on that one person, because you never know when you're going to be able to broaden out, branch out, growth. Your growth of your business will determine that you're broader, because you're going to be here to save, branch out, Is it Tommy Hilfiger? Tommy Hilfiger never desired his brand to be a hip hop brand. Never desired his brand to be a hip hop brand. I don't even think he thought of it. His demographic was not hip hop artists. It was not young kids coming out of, you know, challenging neighborhoods wearing it. Tommy Hilfiger was focusing on the rich and the famous and the affluent. Well, do you know that Tommy Hilfiger has the most stolen goods? It's not a good statement, I'm saying, but I'm telling you, they were attracted to him. His brand is stolen more than any other brand. is stolen because it was outpriced. They wanted it, but they couldn't wear it. It was outpriced, so they stole it. So he, in his understanding that new market, created a new market. Come on, somebody, where he actually offers both brands and offers at both levels and is made available things at different levels. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Because he now understands there's a market over there that I'm missing. And unfortunately, they had to steal to get it. Now I'm going to actually make something available for a different demographic. So if you understand all people, all things, you can solve more than one sozo. You can sozo a lot of people in different areas. How many of you are getting this? Say yes in the comments or wave at me. All right. So I want you to understand that we need to be broader in this, but at the same time, knowing our distinction, knowing exactly what makes us distinctly different and what is the distinction of what I want to reach. All right. So then I want to go back to this next statement. He says that I might win the weak. He says, to the weak, I become weak that I might win the weak. I want you to get this because it's very important. That word win the weak is the same word that Abraham did. It says that when Abraham went to Haran, he acquired, how many we spent weeks on that? He acquired 20,000 disciples in Haran. He went there with his wife and Lot. And when he's leaving Haran, he is leaving with 20,000 disciples. What did he do? The Bible says he acquired them. This word that I may win the weak is the word that I may acquire the weak. You now are going to acquire people into your brand, acquire people into your work and acquire, but you have to understand, you're going to deal with where they are, what they want, what their weakness, what is it they want? They want something, they need something, but most people are first initial engagement is what they want. So when you understand what a person wants, then you can help them get to what they really need. And so we know that the weakness of everybody who's weak wants to be strong. Everyone who's weak, right? That's their need to work out. You can see the difference. Their need is to work out, but their want is to be strong. Man, that's such a good thought right there. That's Holy Ghost thought right there. Just dropped that. Didn't even have that in my notes. Woo! Am I the only excited one here? So I want you to get this. I want you to get this. This is so powerful because he's telling us the key to releasing to people, into bringing them into vision and helping them understand how you will help them go from their weakness to strength. And that their starting place is strength, and the starting place is weakness, and their end place is strength. They want to be strong. So no one wants to stay in weakness. This is what weakness is. The word weak that he uses, he says that I may. That the weak that I become to the weak, I become weak. Doesn't mean he's frail, fragile, but he understands. He understands, relates with them, gets them, lets them know that I understand this. So a lot of online stuff that works right now is how to work, how to do this, how I made my first $50 million, how I did this, how I do this, and how I'm going to do this. Why is that? Is because when I say how I made my first, it tells you that I was where you were and that I know the steps to get to where I am. So come to my guru session so I can teach you how to as well. So what am I doing? I'm telling them in that one statement, how I raised my first $1 million, or how I created wealth, or how I bought my first house, or whatever that is. It's now such a relational place to where their weakness is. I've been where you are, and I'm now you listen to Anthony Robbins. He always tells the story about how his mom, he was raised with his mom. They didn't have enough groceries. His goal was always to, just to provide. And one day someone came to the house with groceries, left groceries on the door and changed their life. And what is he doing? This guy is a multi-billionaire. He is not at all thinking about where groceries, he probably didn't even know where his cook is getting the groceries from, right? He's not thinking about groceries anymore. But because he still talks to people that are at that level, he has to relate with them. He has to bring it down to where they are. So he says, this is where I know what that is. And he tells his story. He's telling his story and he's leading you to the place of where you go, I want to be strong as you are. I want to be where you are. If you've been where I'm at, you know how to get from where you are, where you were to where you are now, then show me. Well, that's what Paul's talking about right here. I know how to be weak so that I may win some, so that I may acquire them. Think about acquisitions. We think about acquisitions and buildings and books and buildings and businesses, but we are in the acquiring of people business. We acquire people. And so we are going to help them go from their weak place to their strong place. And so this is what he says, that I may gain, acquire, or get gain the weak, that I may gain them, acquire them, or get gain. So there's people think, well, if I'm working with weak people, then why should I charge them? Well, because by the end of the day, when you're done working with them, they're no longer going to be weak. So listen to the words. I'm going to gain them. I'm going to acquire them. But then it also has this term in the Greek, to get gain. That means I'm going to actually gain from helping them go from weak to being strong. Not only are they going to be on my team, but I should have some payments, some recompense from it. You guys understand? A lot of people don't want to start businesses because they think they're taking from people. But the realization, if someone will pay you to help them to go from weak to strong, then don't hesitate in being paid. Get your payment. Christian, come on. I want you to see that. The next thing he says the weak. The word weak is this: strengthless. Strengthless. I want to help people go from being strengthless to being strong. I want to help people to go from being feeble to being strong, or sick to being healthy. These are the words that are in weak: impotent, sick, without strength, weaker, weakerness, weaker things, more feeble. So these are everything you do in your business helps people become better. Either you help them save money at it, you help them save time at it, you help them do it faster, better. You help them, right? Because it's all extremely powerful in taking a person from a weak place to a very strong place. That's what you do. And that's what you're good at. And you should get paid for it. And can I tell you, you should get paid very well for it. If you help 20,000 people, shouldn't you get paid very well for it? If you help 1 million people, shouldn't you get paid very well for it? You should get paid very well for it, right? So one of the things I really want to break off is that we should do everything for free because we're Christians. That's the mindset. You should hear it as a minister. The hardest part for me to be a coach and a minister, I talked to Tony and some other people in the past. I said, the hardest part for me being a coach and a minister, when people find out that I'm a minister, they think that I should give what I do for free or for cheaper. I thought, they think it should be cheaper. I mean, shouldn't you? Well, how can you sell it? Well, part of my content it's all biblical because every great knowledge of success comes from the Bible. But the realization is I've also been trained. I have modalities. I have things that I've added to myself that actually cost me money. And I did it for the sake of helping you. So it's not just free. I don't go to a free school to teach you free stuff. It's like a minister will spend thousands of dollars to go to school and come out, and then people say, you know what, you shouldn't make any money. Heard yesterday someone said that the idea of their board was that the minister shouldn't make any more than what the lowest paid staff member is. So the minister shouldn't make any more than the person who cleans the bathrooms and the janitor. And so they put his wages under the janitor. And yet you want him to turn your life around. You want him to turn your kids around. You want him to make sure that you're ready for heaven. Listen, you want to make that person the most paid. We're talking about your eternity. You want to make sure that I'm not trying to be out there doing anything crazy, hustling, because I need to be ready to make you ready for God, right? But that's my mindset. So we have to understand that there is going to be things that you're going to have to, the obstacles you're going to have to overcome. But the realization is people are going to say, well, why do you have so much money? Or why are you doing this? When you start making millions, people are going to have negative things to say about you. You start making, and hopefully all of you are thinking, I'm going to make millions. Even if you don't want to spend millions on yourself, you can give away millions. But the reason I want you to make millions, because the more money you think about making, the more people you have to help from going weak to strong. If you don't want to help a lot of people, you won't help. If you don't want to make a lot of money, you will never help people go from weak to strong. When I want to make a lot of money, it's because I want to help people. The more people I help to go from weak to strong, and I'm getting gains from it, I know that my gains are connected to helping that person grow. Then that's a beautiful picture for me. I'll help you, you help me. And then we can grow together. If you don't want to be a millionaire, then give it all away. That's fine. Give it all away, but do a lot with people. Help a lot of people. I've always taught that if you want to you should always set your goal of your annual income over $250,000 a year. And the question is always asked, why? I said, because you can't get past $250,000 a year without helping other people. You have to help other people to get past that number. And if you are just working for, there's a lot of jobs that you can do that's under that never demand that you do more than your task. But if you want to get over that, you always have to go beyond. You have to help more people. You have to help more people, help more people. You have to bring more people on the team. You have to become a better leader of people to get beyond that. So these are all mindsets that I want you to have as we go into this practice I'm going to give you. So we're going to work on this. I'm going to give you 6 steps. I'm going to read them off now, and then I'm going to post them in the Facebook later so you can go and get the details of the information of these steps, so you don't have to actually try to take incredible notes right now. You can take bullet point notes if you want to, but there's a lot of things to think about. So this is going to be 6 steps to creating just a powerful pitch. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do over the next few months is going to teach you how to pitch in like an elevator pitch. I'm going to teach you how to pitch to media, to news. That's going to be important for some of you to know how to pitch to the news. If you're writing a book, how to pitch to other people who have podcasts or whatever, they're journalists. You want to know how to pitch. So I'm going to be teaching how to pitch, how to make sure you get in front of people. My book, Followership, I pitched to get in front of people. I pitched to get in front of, get on TV, get interviewed. All the people that are on, you watch, a late night, whatever one you watch, because there's so many now. I don't know. It used to be the late night, and then it's the late night, and now it's the late night show. You watch any of those shows, anybody on there is on there because they pitched to be on there. And they're not on there because they were invited to be on there. There may be few that, Jimmy Kimmel or, was trying to get on. But the fact is most of them pitching because they have a new thing that's coming up. I have a new book that's coming out. I have a new whatever. So that doesn't flow from organic. Everyone, we look and we think, oh, it's all organic. None of it's organic. Bestsellers are not organic. Nothing's organic. All of it's systemized. All of it's strategy. All of it's systematic. So if you don't know how to pitch, you'll never enter into the system, because the entrance into the system is about your pitch. If you want to be someone that's going on a record label, you want to be on it's the pitch. If you want to be picked up by a bookseller, a publisher, it's the pitch. You guys understand? You have to be pitch perfect. Yeah, no, I've been waiting to say that one for days. Pitch perfect. Don't laugh at me, Neela. Pitch perfect. You guys get it. You guys got it. All right. Number 1. You can write down the bullet point, and I'll give you an explanation for it. The bullet point is this. The first statement, the first part of it is going to be who you are. Who you are. Now, this who you are is not a long bio. It's just a simple sentence, right? It's one sentence about yourself. For example, you might introduce yourself as a consultant to a business owner. That's simple. You're a business owner. Oh, great. I'm a consultant. That's the first thing. So if you are pitching to business people, you're going to actually be very simple with it. So you have to know that. When I was writing out my first one, I was writing it towards my publishing company. So I just wrote down, just so I can get my mind around it, I wrote Tracey, an author. That was just, I wanted to identify who I am. Now, that's not what I'm saying, but that's what I wanted to identify myself as, the person who is now talking to them. I'm not talking to them as a publisher. I'm first coming to their place of weakness, which I'm an author. I also relate with you. If you're in business, I'm a consultant. I understand where you're at, what you're working with. You understand? Number two is what you do. So first is who you are, what you do. Now, remember, this is going to be very short, 150 words, very short. And then this, you're going to use your mission statement. If you don't have a mission statement yet, write a mission statement out. Mission statement and a vision statement. I'll cover that briefly in a second. Write your mission statement out, something that declares not who you are, but what you do, the products and services list that you have. Write all of that out, because you'll take components of that and add it into this. You don't make the whole thing a mission statement, right? So in this, you're going to emphasize that you save time. You have time-saving techniques. You're going to emphasize that you have strategies that you've been working with for. So you're going to really emphasize what you do for that person, and it should be something of the same things that you would say around in your mission statement. So with me, what I wrote, the author and the publisher, I wrote, I help people tell their story and reveal their ideal self. That's what I wrote as kind of helping me. Now, that was the longest part of it. I had to shrink it down. I didn't make it less, but that was for me as a publisher. I wanted to make sure that it was clear the things that I wanted to do, which was help people tell their story and reveal their ideal self. All right, number three, the third thing in your elevator pitch is going to be your ideal customer, your ideal client. What is your ideal client? So this is, you're going to use your target in here. You're going to identify your target. Use your target audience description. So if you don't have a target audience description, you're going to have to work on that this week. You have to write out, what's my target audience? What's the kind of person? And how do you do that? We identify what's the weakness. What do they want? Not what they need, what they want. What's their weakness? Most people, they know how to get strong. I just got to lift weights, right? They know that. But what's their weakness? Whatever their weakness is, that's what you're targeting. So the ideal client, use your target audience description as a guide, Write a sentence or two about who your ideal clients are. So, so this is going to be in the midst of it. For example, you might value clients who emphasize team building. Or so you describe how and why clients might have those needs. So if I'm going to work with someone who desires, client who values team building, I'm going to emphasize how my business helps them that identify with how you should describe how and why clients might have those needs. So in this, what I did is I wrote down, again, this was just my initial brief thoughts. I work with people who have a story to tell and lessons to share. Right? I work with people who have story to tell and lessons to share. So this is the idea of a publisher. This is my publisher side. This is not my media side, which publishing is an aspect of media because of the way we work the branding. Number 4, how you are different. How you're different. Number 4, how are you different? Use your unique selling proposition. What's different about you? What's your unique selling proposition? Now, what I like about what we're doing now is, as I'm telling you how to build a pitch, I'm also demanding that you actually learn more about your business, right? So, if you don't have your ideal client, you have to think about your ideal client this week. You have to work on your ideal client. If you don't know your mission statement, you have to write a mission statement. If you don't know who you are and why you should be the person in the business, then you have to discover more about yourself and why you fit, right? You have to do this. And then in this, what is your unique selling proposition? What is the thing that you offer that is uniquely different to everyone else, right? So one of the things I was studying this week is, let's see if I can pull it up. So I took a picture of it. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he wrote this. If a man can make a better mousetrap than his neighbor, the world will make a beaten path to his door. That's what his statement is. And people, you know, that's the statement. But the fact is someone did make a better mousetrap, and the old mousetrap still sells better. So the realization, but his words still stay alive. People still quote this. And the realization, your words matter more than your improvement. So you have to really be able to share the improvement. The reason the better mousetrap doesn't work better, or it works exactly the same, is the fact that the people don't have words that make it better in the mindset of the person who's buying mousetraps. $5 mousetrap, $12 mousetrap. $5 mousetrap works just as good as the $12 mousetrap. Why should I use your $12 mousetrap when the $5 mousetrap works just as good? And by the way, I'm throwing it away, so I'm not going to throw away an extra, you get it, extra $7. Well, that's now the buyer's proposition. The unique selling proposition is not there in the better mousetrap. It's a better mousetrap in what way? They both kill mice. I use a new mousetrap because this one had one feature. A few weeks ago, a year ago, when we moved into this house, we were right next to a field. In our garage, we thought, well, one day we're gonna just, we're so busy, we had to run out. We took the garbage out. We used to do this in our house, other house, we take the garbage out and just put it in our garage, and then later take it to the garbage can. Well, in this house, the field somehow is a great place for these mice to live. So they would run right into the house and they would dig into that garbage can. Next, I had mice in the garbage bag. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't stand this. This is awful. I can't stand mice, these little critters. Where's my Tom when I need him? Or is it Jerry? I don't know which one is which. But anyway, so then I'm thinking, I need a mousetrap. And I was like, oh, the wooden mousetrap, and the sticky ones are the worst, the sticky mousetraps. And then the ones where they're supposed to go through a little thing, they never go through a little thing. And if they do, they get stuck and they're still these humane mousetraps. I'm sorry if you like that, that's up to you. You can come and pick them up. But the fact is I didn't want to have something that like this. And then I didn't want to get any of that decon stuff that makes them eat it, and then they swell up when they drink water, because sometimes they get stuck in a place where they can't get outside the house and they decompose there, and they're the most horrible experience. Sorry to take you guys on my gross trip, but I need to take you here because I need you to understand that my problem wasn't just catching a mouse. It was the way I had to pick up the mouse after it was caught. You understand? So when I found this one, the unique selling proposition was the fact that when it closed, it had a nice little clean little point that stuck right up. So I can just grab it by the point and just take it and put it in the bag and throw it into a bin. You understand that I didn't actually have to get down where I have to pick up the wood and something splattered. None of that. And it no splats, nothing. It's clean. Boom. Just like that. Just pick it up. Woo-hoo. I still wear gloves. I still wear plastic gloves. But anyway, wear plastic gloves. I put on a whole hazmat suit. I'm all out there like this. And just pick up a little mouse. But the realization is it's a better mousetrap. But the older mousetrap still sells better because there's no story to go with the new one. The old one's been around so long that it needs, anything coming new has to have a better story, especially if it has a higher price point. And so if you have a higher price point, you need to know your unique selling proposition. The reason some people drop their price is because they don't know the unique selling proposition. And so you lower your price trying to match that equalize with that old mousetrap. But the fact is you're a better mousetrap. Don't take it personal, but you are a better mousetrap. Your product that you offer is better. What you do is better. But if you can't tell that story, it's going to be just associated to the old mousetrap. Does that give you a good image there? So tell a better story about who you are, what you do, and how you help people. So in this, you have to, when you number 4, you have to in your proposition, in your elevator pitch, in your pitch. Now, an elevator pitch is different than a media pitch. So don't take all these rules for the media pitch. We're going to tell you different rules for that. Okay, we're going to come back to that. But for your elevator pitch, your business, you're in the elevator, you have 1 minute to tell someone something. This is important. Number 4 was how you are different. How are you different? So you're going to have to write out your unique proposition. What makes me different? And then take components of that to build this. As a guide, use that as a guide. Write what sets you apart from every other business. What sets you apart from every other business owner? What sets you apart from every other business? Don't just write what makes me better than what makes our business better, different, but also what makes you a different kind of owner. What makes you different, not even better, but what makes you different than every other business owner and what every other business owner does. Perhaps you've had a relevant experience. You've had some experience that, well, for 20 years, 15 years, for 25 years, I've been a coach for 15 years, whatever that may be. Make sure you set yourself apart with that statement. Don't be shy at this point. A lot of people don't get new business because they're too shy to tell what they've accomplished. So I've accomplished this. I have 25,000 people in my business. I have 5,000 people in my business. I've been working with this many clients. If I asked all of these people here that were alumni, they would have a sense of, and most of them probably would be able to share, say, how many clients do you have? How many people you work with? What is this, right? And they'll be able to tell you what they do, because that is relevant experience. And your relevant experience is social proof for people. It helps people understand and gives credibility. Overcome them, and whatever you've overcome yourself. And that's what Tony Robbins, he says, I have this and I've done this. He tells those stories. And you have whatever, and if you have an uncommon strategy, that you want to build upon, you do that. All right, I'm almost done. So what I wrote in just a little framework, we do this by building your personal brand through concise speech, writing, and bringing you into view. So number 5, what happens next? So after you tell those components, that's great. They should be intrigued. What happens next? This is briefly where you let your audience, or you let the person in your audience know that what they can do to follow up with you, or how they can hear more. Provides a means of further contact. So then my statement, I write, people often connect with me through referrals, through DMing me on social media, or finding, some whatever way. I don't usually, so I didn't write, they call me at 206-384-3299, right? Or, I didn't write anything like that, because that's going to be hard for a person to, if you have a business card, you can hand that to them, but you give them a way to follow up. People usually contact me at my website, traceyarmstrong.com, or, pickuplittlerodents.com, whatever kind of easy URL you can get them. Pick up little rodents. Tom and Jerry exterminators.com. All right, number 6, the last component is an attention getting hook. Attention getting hook. Get the attention of your audience. State in 1 or 2 sentences how your strategy can translate directly into profits for them. How it can help them and translate into profits. So prepare to be seen, heard, as we help you tell your compelling story that separates you as an expert in your industry. We turn failure into expertise. That was for my book publishing. Just a little my brief initial thoughts. And then the last part is putting all together. How many of you guys have some homework? All right, let's get our homework done. And any questions, I'll come back next week and maybe we can cover some more. If you have any questions, please write down your questions. If you have any questions, you can ask questions in Facebook on Voxer, or you can keep them until next week. I think that's been a fun hour and a half. How about you? Let's open up. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any feedback, let's hear it. And otherwise, we're good to see April here connecting with us, and Sharon, new faces connecting with us here. Excited to have you locked in. All right. Any questions, comments? Ashley, go ahead.
Hey, such good message. Thank you so much.
You're still somehow your audio is not working.
Can you hear me?
All right, so we'll have to come back to you. Can you hear her? Oh.
Yes, we can hear her.
Okay.
Battery 100%. Connected to Tracey's MacBook Pro. Connected to Natalie's Fire.
That's my other.
There we go. All right, so now I can hear. Everybody else is nodding and I'm not nodding. So I want to nod. I want to nod too.
My video's off.
I know, that's bad.
We just moved in last weekend, so.
All right, we'll give you permission to have video off and talking today, just for today.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Do you have something?
Yes. Okay. So, great word. Thank you so much. I actually was praying about this last night. I woke up in the middle of the night, so I really need to hear all this today. My question is, one of the things I jotted down that you'd mentioned was, your words matter more than your improvement. Would it be true that your improvement can change your words? So that could be that speaking more to of the continuation of words improving, life improving, words improving, life improving.
Yeah, yes, I believe that your improvement can change your words because you now have, experience to talk about. This is what we've done. This is the process we've gone through. These are the things we've done to get to this point. These are the patterns we have. Those things all separate you and you from the rest. But if you don't tell those words, like some people are just saying, hey, we have a mousetrap, it's better. But if you don't tell why it's better, if you don't tell the lifestyle change for me is that I hated picking up those mousetraps. I couldn't stand it. It was like, and then another really cool thing about this mousetrap, not to sell it, but really cool thing about it, we don't have any more mice, by the way. They told somebody about it. They spread the word. But the thing is it locks easy. It locks simple. It's a simple lock. I push one button, it locks, and then it's just beautiful. It's wonderful. Now, there's no one telling that story. If I own that product, I would totally be selling that product. I just found it on Amazon searching. The realization is it needs someone to tell the greater story. So that's the thing that I think the words matter, because people believe words. They don't believe, the initial of most things. People are very skeptical buyers now. So they need words.
Okay.
Good answer.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. And then I think someone said in the chat too, it speaks to your, it's also building your testimony. So, yeah, because I've realized over time, just with myself, being more well-spoken has come with improvement. And it's just like this constant cycle, like a healthy cycle. The more I improve, the more my words change. And the more that I can find myself on different levels to come down and speak to people, like you were saying, people at a weaker state. And I have been at all of these levels too. So it's broadened my dialect to speak to people on many different levels.
Yeah, beautiful. Perfect. That's exactly what that 1 Corinthians is talking about as far as I'm concerned. Being able to bring yourself to the place where people are eye to eye, to bring them to another level. Excellent.
Thank you.
David Quinton, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. You doing well?
Yeah, I doing well. I passed my septic and well evaluation for my house, so I just have to submit my blueprints and let them look over those before I can start building. And then I got my website done for my card game, and I'm trying to process how to create a good ad for that. So I'm just doing research right now, and then I should be launching today. My wife does artwork, primarily like prophetic artwork, but we don't like announce that on her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like an art channel. And so I launched, which should be launching today, my first discovery ads to basically get people to find the YouTube channel and subscribe and things like that. So it's some of this is brand new to me, and then that's fine. And just I'm stepping out in lots of different areas all at the same time, and still working 40 hours a week and at a youth shelter. So staying busy, but moving forward. So
that's awesome. Love it. Glad that the YouTube channel is moving forward as well, and your game is moving forward. That's excellent. Can't wait to get that up so we can. I want to buy one. So I want to go.
All right. I ordered stickers yesterday because I part of what we talked about is like what someone's experience when they receive something. And so I decided rather than just tossing it in a package and sending it to them, I would just add a little bit to it. So I just got some black, almost like the paper you put in like a gift bag. And I got some stickers, so I can basically just wrap it and put a sticker on it. It just kind of, it's not much, but it's more than anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, so anyways, I'll be getting those in about a week, and then I'll start doing some ads for it. And yeah.
Well, we have Tony's an ad guy. So if you have any questions, just post in Facebook or, Voxer, he's periodically.
Yeah. You guys gave me some advice about a month and a half ago. I just need to go back over that.
Okay, cool.
And if I have any questions from there, I'll come back. So
Excellent. This is why we're here, to help you move forward. Excellent, everyone. Good job. Good to see everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. This is the day the Lord has made, and he has made it for you to rejoice and be glad in it. So have fun. Enjoy yourself. See you guys over there in the UK. See you later, Lydia and John. See you. Have a good one. Sharon, good to see you again. And everybody, let's just continue to move forward, build and grow strong. God, he gives you permission to be a wealth creator for him. God bless.